A $20,000 payday on your very first deal? Come on, man. I can't make this stuff up. A couple out of South Jersey is here to share their story, how they did it through a bird dog, which means they spent zero to find the deal, zero to put the deal together to wholesale their first house. So you know what you need to do if you want to hear this story and how they did it? Stand by. Let's get it.
Flip man, it's the flip man. Flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Hello, guys. This is Ty, aka the Flip Man, and today we have a lovely couple out of the South Jersey area, Alex and Gwen, and they're here to share their first deal story where they picked up a bag for $20,000. My first deal was only $2,500. I was happy, but it wasn't 20. It wasn't 20 big ones. So enough of me. Just to get into it, guys. How's it going?
Good. Excited just to be able to speak to you and share our story.
Yes, definitely.
Man, I'm glad you guys made time. I think you, Alex, did you reach out to me on Instagram or on through my text, through my phone?
I was reaching out to you through everything, through Instagram, through text, on YouTube Live. I was on everything.
All right, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So what I like to do is just try to get some background on you guys. I guess what your 9 to 5 is or was. And how you led up to real estate and that part of it. But just start with somewhat of your background and, how maybe you got interested in real estate. Guys, I got to interrupt this video because the Deal Later CRM is now available. I launched it prematurely before, but it's now available and ready for you to test drive. Manage your leads better, create more follow-up. It allows you to do so many different things all in one. So all you have to do to test drive it is tap the link in this description of this video or in the comments section, or simply go to deallater.com and test drive my CRM now. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and you're here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification so you are alerted whenever I upload new videos and when we go live. So back to the video.
So I've been interested in real estate for a long time. Probably for over 25 years. When I'll date myself. So when I was about 25, I actually brought the full Carlton Sheep program. And I was like, listen, I'm going to do this real estate thing. But it didn't happen that way. I had my first daughter. I had already graduated from college and was into my teaching career. And so I did that for like 25 years. I'm a former educator. I taught, was a supervisor over special education. About 8 years ago, I retired early because of an injury. And ever since then, I've just been like a serial entrepreneur. So I've done some stuff with network marketing. And Alex and I have had several businesses that we've been running over the last 10 years, from doing promotions to an educational consulting business. But the real estate is something that I've always wanted to do.
All right, boom. All right, and Alex, I guess you can give a little backstory on yourself.
Well, same thing. We both from New York. We both out of New York. That's where we met.
Okay.
Years ago, when I was younger, I wanted to buy in real estate back in Harlem when they was selling the brownstones for maybe $100,000 or $30,000 at the time, something like that. But now they worth like $2 million. I should have gotten the game then, but I didn't. But like Gwen said, we serial entrepreneurs. We started a couple of businesses that we run right now, and I guess real estate always been in my mind, but I never thought about how I was going to get into it. I never thought about wholesaling, which is funny because we heard about wholesaling. We went to a seminar maybe 6 years ago on stocks. And the guy, he was teaching us about the stocks. He made a comment that said, I could sell you a house and I don't even own it. And we like, whatever, and didn't think nothing of it. And look where we at now. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
That's interesting. So fast forward, you had a general interest in it. I guess for whatever reason, just life and other things you were doing to make money were producing. So what turned the switch on for you guys to finally take a step with it?
Honestly, COVID to a certain degree, because I was so busy. Like she said, we have several businesses. So one of the companies that I have educational services. So I'm a mentor. So I teach young men skills, life skills through the game of basketball. So I was running after school programs and stuff like that. So the time with that, I was working at a gym part-time, and I'm a full-time educator. So it was like everything was going on. And when COVID came, that extra money stopped. So we took a trip to my brother's down in South Carolina. So we're going to drive. We didn't want to fly because COVID was going on. So we're going to drive. Okay. And a friend of mine, actually, I work with, let me go back just a little bit. One of my friends that I work with at school, he had put me on to your videos about maybe a year or two before this. And I was like, okay, I was looking at it, and me and her, we sat down with him and his fiance, and we was going to get into the wholesaling, but then we like kind of shied away. And then we were just driving, from where we at in Jersey to South Carolina is like a 9-hour drive. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put on Flipman video. We could watch it, listen. And no lie, I think we listened to that. We watched every video all the way down, 9 hours down, 9 hours back. Even every time we got in the car, drive around and see when my brother go get something to eat, it was no music playing. Everything was Flipman. Oh, wow. And my youngest daughter was in the back like, that song is in my head, Flipman. Like, she's hearing it in her sleep. Like, I mean, literally, we were just so gung-ho. When we came back from there, we just got right into it. We just like you said, you got to take action. I'm like, I figured we got 20 hours worth of information. We could put some action in now.
Well, but because you guys and this young lady that used to work on my team, and that was her first experience trying to. Because when you start trying to wholesale or real estate investing, basically you're running a business. Ain't no business, you are running a business. But so for some people, she said, Ty, this is their first time running a business and their first time trying to do something at real estate at the same time. Mm-hmm. So just from my experience of people that I've dealt with, whether they're students or non-students, the individuals that have already ran businesses, whether successfully or not, right? They tend to be able to do this a lot faster than those that have never done anything as far as running a business. I'm not saying that just you have to have business experience to succeed. And it's by no means, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying just from my experience and the people I've dealt with over the years, it tends to speed the process along faster because you don't have to have that learning curve of knowing how to establish an LLC and your taxes and being able to have that mindset that you don't never know when your next payday is coming from. You know what I'm saying? People have to get used to all of that. So I didn't want to cut you off. So you all got back from South Carolina. You were, I guess I had you fired up. You're ready to take action. So what was the first thing you all did?
No, listen, Alex is he likes to play Madden. He likes to watch TV. Literally, when we got back, the TV was not on the whole day.
The whole summer.
There was no TV at all. It was learning, it was studying, and he just took massive action.
Wow, that's what's up. So, so what was the first thing you did as far as marketing, what did you all do to start generating leads, or what was your thought process on the lead generation part of it? Because in reality, that's all the business really boils down to is how effective you are at generating daily leads.
Well, we started. The first thing I started with was actually that's when you started talking about the texting, the text call, text to flip.
Mm-hmm.
Jumped into that. I got the deal later, aka prop stream. I got that. I went and did bandit signs. We started with those. Wow. I mean, we did everything. We did Facebook ads. We started everything.
Okay, so what worked? What were you getting the most leads from?
Well,
texting.
The texting, because like you said, like the percentage of people checking their texts. So I was getting responses back, but some of them, a lot of them wasn't deals, and then I got a lot of no's and got cursed out a few times. But that was the response. Like those are the quickest responses.
Okay.
That I'm getting.
Okay, so just to give us an idea of the timeline, let's go ahead and get into your actual first deal. If you can get into the timeline on how that, well, number one, how did you find the deal? How did the deal came your way? Where did it come from? And then just the timeline of finding the deal, negotiating it, putting it on a contract with the seller, marketing it for a buyer, getting a buyer in the contract, and closing it.
So our first deal came from a bird dog.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's what's up. How did you get the bird dog in play? How did you form from bird dogs?
Listen, we started telling everybody, listen, money talks. We know that, like you said, we've been in business. We know money talks. So we were like, listen, you get us a good deal, we'll compensate you between $500 and $1,500, depending on what we get at the end of the deal. So we just started telling people that, and you know what? People started looking. They were like, okay, well, if I find something, I'm gonna let you know. And so that's what happened. Okay,
so this particular bird dog. So what was that lead? What was great about that lead, and just give us the scenario dealing with that seller, I guess motivated seller for them in order for you to have a great deal.
All right, so this is what happened. So the bird dog, he's actually a friend of mine. He actually worked with me in my mentoring program a couple years ago. So he worked with me with the mentoring. So I had told him about it. He's like us. He's a go-getter. He's out, like he always try to figure out how to get to the next move. So I told him about it, and he said, okay, if I see something, I'll let you know. So God rest his soul, his grandma had passed. So when his grandma passed, I had texted him just to talk to him about something else, and he had told me his grandma passed. I said, okay, sorry to hear that. He said, I might, the family might be looking to sell her property. So I said, okay, well, let me know what's going on, and we'll go from there. So a couple actually, and that was back in like maybe July or August. No. Yeah, he's like August or September, somewhere around that time. So, but they had to go through the probate, the probate. So they had to go through the courts and all that. So I didn't hear from him for like maybe like a month, and then he had texted me and say, he started keeping me updated with the situation with the house. So I said, okay, cool. But around this time, I was still trying to generate leads, and I was getting frustrated. I was almost at the point I was like, I'm about to get this thing up because like I can't find no leads.
Correct.
So I was like, okay, cool. But then he texted me, he was like, yo, they got the house. The lawyer settled everything. So, you be able to go look at the house and, go from there. So I said, okay, cool. Now this is like the November. Okay. So I was like, okay, cool. So we set up a date for him and his dad to show me the house. But he texted me maybe the day before, was like, yo, while we out there, my aunt got a crib right around the corner that had fire damage, and she want to sell her house too. So wow. I said, okay, well, I'll look at both of them. So we looked at the grandmother house first, and, we took video and pictures and stuff like that. And then we went around the corner to the aunt house. We looked at that, everything, and we end up getting the aunt's house under contract first. So that became the first deal. So that's the deal we talk about now. We end up getting the aunt's house under contract first, and then the grandma house, we have it under contract now. But so we talked to the aunt. Well, me and him was texting about the aunt, and somebody had offered her already something for the property. So we looked at it. He said, give her your number, and I'd let her know. So I gave her a quote, and she said, "I'd rather give it to y'all because y'all know my nephew and my sister." So
what was the price that you all offered?
We offered 45.
Okay, what was the ARV on it?
The ARV, it depends because a block is like you go 30 steps one way and it's like one price is 30 steps the other way. But the ARV was around probably like 150, 160 in that area.
Okay. What did you all think that repaired? You said it was fire damage?
Yeah, it was fire damage in the living room area. Just it mainly was in the living room. The red house was like just smoke ventilation. So we put the ARV around 40 to 50,000.
You mean the repairs?
Yeah, the repairs. Sorry, the repairs.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So the 45, you all agreed upon that amount?
Yes. We the contract sounded like a day.
Okay. So what you use my contract or use different one or what?
Nope. We use your contract.
All right. That's what's up. Okay, my free contract, anyone that wants it.
Yes.
All right, so now you have it on a contract. So now the good part, you got to find a cash buyer for it. So what did you guys do?
I kept hearing your voice say, if you got a good deal, you'll find a buyer. Mm-hmm. And so now that we actually got the contract signed with the seller, I wasn't really too concerned about finding a buyer because we felt it was a relatively good deal, even with the fire damage, because it seemed like it's an up and coming area and people are starting to buy in that area. So I think the first thing you did was put it out on like social media.
No, first thing I did was I used PropStream. I used cash buyers. I went and got cash buyers in that area and I skip traced them and I sent them a text blast.
Okay.
And then they started sending me. I in the text I said, send me an email for more details, and they started sending me the emails, and I started sending them the information through email.
So what we did was we created a video that we put on YouTube with video and pictures. So once they sent the email, we were able to send them the link, and they were then able to go and look and see the property.
Okay, so a buyer steps forward and said, "Hey, I want it." So how did that look as far as the numbers and that process of dealing with that particular buyer?
So we'll just give you a quick backstory on that one. So the first guy it was a lot of people that reacted quick. So there's one guy, I forgot how he came. I think he came through social media. Mm-hmm. So he buys and fix up and rent in that area. So he was the first one to, reach out to us. So he was the first one to see the house. So the funny thing is, I think he said he had contacted the seller, but he said he had contacted us. I guess he gave her a price, and so he ended up saying, I guess she went with you guys. So I think he was the guy we actually got the deal from, because she said that someone offered her already, but she didn't want to go with them. She went with us. So we kind of, in our back of our minds, we probably think it was him. So the price he gave her was, I think, 55. So he was trying.
I missed the part. What? Two things. As far as earnest money, how much did you all put down on the contract?
$100.
Okay. And then as far as what price were you all marketing it at? On the different social media platforms and elsewhere, what price were you putting it out there at?
Yeah, we put it out at 75. We knew that was high, but we knew that people were going to come in and negotiate and talk us down. So we said, you know what, let's put it at 75 so we can have some wiggle room.
Okay. All right, let's go back to the buyer. I just want to get those couple of things in. Because people say, you didn't ask how much earnest money. You didn't ask them what price they marketed at. So there you go. All right, so let's get back to the buyer. So
the first buyer came, like I said, and again, I think he was the one that wanted to get the house from the lady, but she ended up going with us. So he was stuck at a price of 55. So we was like, we was getting different offers, lower than that. And we was like, we know we got a good deal, so we're going to wait. And we kind of felt like, because he kept stressing the ARV. But if you let somebody talk long enough, they'll tell you everything you need to hear. So so he rents. He don't even work. The ARV is not an issue for him because he rents. And while we were actually talking to him, one of his tenants from one of the properties he have in that same neighborhood walked past, and he was so excited, like, "Hey, that's one of my tenants right there." So we already know you want to rent, so you trying to lowball us because you worry about the ARV. So we talked to him and everything, and I told him I still had other people interested, so I'll get back to him. So I let him go look at the house. I let a couple people look at the house. So I had this one guy. He calls me. He want to look at the house. So I said, okay. I let him go look at the house. So he calls me. I think he calls me maybe an hour later and say, what can I do for this house? And then he says, I'll give you 65. So I said, okay. Let me talk it over with my wife, and I'll get back to you in about an hour. So I hung up. My wife was in the store. She came out the store. I said, somebody just offered 65,000. I said, that's pretty good right there. So, but I still wanted to get. I said, pretty good right there. So I said, but I still wanted to let the other guy know, that we got an offer, and if he wanted to put in, if he wanted to match or go over, we give it to him. But he wasn't budging, but I think it's because he was kind of vindictive that we got the property, he didn't get it. So
he didn't get it.
So we said, okay. So I called the guy back in an hour, said, yeah, that should work. I didn't want to sound too over excited. I was like, yeah, that could work. We could do 65. So with him, that was on actually New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
He said, I need you to come meet me New Year's Day so we can sign this contract. So okay. I said, no problem. Now, mind you, I ain't tell you, Norristown is about 50 minutes from us.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So we were driving back and forth like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so we got him under contract on New Year's Day.
So how much earnest money did he put down?
$2,500.
$2,500. Okay. He put that with the title company, closing attorney.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We use his title company.
Okay. So what's the name of the town it was in?
Norristown, PA.
What is that in relation to Philadelphia? That's the only thing I can.
It's like maybe 35 minutes outside of Pennsylvania. Outside of Philadelphia. Okay. So it's more like King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Okay.
All right. Okay. So now you got contract A with the seller, got contract B with the buyer. What was next? You got the earnings money from your buyer also of $2,500. So what was next?
We were nervous.
This is not real. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm not going to even lie. We had watched so many of your videos, and we felt like we knew this, like we knew it. But when we got both of those contracts signed, we were looking at each other like, okay, what now? I think we got a little tripped up with like the whole process with the title company and how that was going to all work. But then you know what? I said, listen, we got the contract signed from the seller. We got the contract signed from the buyer. You know what? If it's something we don't understand, let's just ask. Yeah. So when we started dealing with the title company, at first she was like, I think she kind of knew we were new just because we just probably sounded shaky. But I spoke to her and I asked questions, and then like after that, we were good. She was really helpful through the process, honestly, making sure that everything was in order, communicating with us. So she definitely made the process go smooth for us. And at the end of the day, like you said, everybody walked away excited and happy.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. One question: how was the title company chosen, by the buyer or you all?
Yeah, so. I again, we listened to you, so we was like, and now before I sent him the text and everything, when I go to Posturing, it has the link where you can see the link properties. So I see that he had like 15 properties, so I'm like, he's a seasoned buyer. So I said, I'm gonna listen to what Ty say. I'm gonna say, okay, we'll go through your title company. So he gave us information, and we just went through his title company, and now we actually using her for 2 more deals we got. So
that's what I've said. I said once you do a deal with them, it is his title company at that point. But once you do a deal with them, now it's your title company.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'm assuming they had done wholesale deals before, because you said the lady you were dealing with there was nice or whatever, and she actually like reassured you, oh, everything is going to be okay.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, he took his contract and gave it to her already with the earnest money and everything.
Yeah.
And we called her trying to find out what was going on. She was like, I don't know what you're talking about, because we never sent her the seller's contract.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we didn't know. That's what I'm saying. We was learning, like Gwen said, we was just learning as we went.
Yeah.
So once I sent her the information, then she was like, okay, now she went to, because she didn't go, and Gwen talked to her. Gwen was like, she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then so I had to send her the information.
Right. And she said something, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, my apologies to you. I said, I totally forgot that we haven't sent you the actual seller's contract, which is why you're not understanding. And I was like, you know what? It was the weekend, the holiday. My apologies. I'm going to get that over to you right away. And then once that happened, she was like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the video that people should watch, and you guys probably have watched, just forgot about it. I recently did an update of it. It's how do I get paid? And it's basically whenever you have a seller and a cash buyer on the contract, I use what I call the closing detail sheet, right? Mm-hmm. And you submit that with both contracts, and that document, it identifies who's the seller, who's the buyer, the sales price, who's paying what, who's receiving money, which would include your assignment fee and the seller's funds, and who's paying closing costs. So it just makes it easier to make them understand who's who, which that's available now on dealyoulater.com. You can just fill it out there for free or whatever. So, all right. So now you have everything in place. The title company has made you feel comfortable that it's going to go down. I was going to ask you. So from the point that you got under contract with the seller to January 1st, how long did that take? Was it a week, 2 weeks? How long did that take?
Oh, with the seller till we got the buyer's contract?
Yeah.
We got the seller's contract on the 28th of December.
So 4 days. Yeah. 4 days. Wow,
yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's the business that is finding, man. That was too cool. Okay.
She was motivated. And she didn't hesitate on the contract, and he was motivated once we settled on that price.
Beautiful.
That was it.
Beautiful. All right.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Just go back to what you said about the closing sheet. I didn't realize I was supposed to send that in with that. I did send that in, but I sent because you have the date. So we didn't have an actual date set yet. So I did send it in once we set the date. I sent it in like 2 or 3 days before. So I did send all that stuff in, but she already knew that. I just sent it in just as a precaution, but she already knew what was going on.
I got you. All right. So now everything's in place. How long did it take for them to give you all a closing date?
Well, we was waiting on the title. So she ran the title. The title company ran the title, and it was a fire damage. So they had I guess they got the insurance money. The house was paid off, but when they ran the title, the person that sold them the house back in 2000
it was
96.
It was just some confusing information. It looked like there was still a mortgage of like $48,000 on the property, but really what the issue was that when it got paid, the county never recorded it. Yeah. So it was a matter of it being recorded as paid in the county. And once that was taken care of, she was like, we're ready to settle. Like, you can go to close ASAP.
Yeah. So once that cleared, I emailed the title company and asked her, what was the update? She said, everything is ready to go. So I said, when can we close? She said, we can close whenever you want. Now, this is on Monday, which was this Monday. Yeah, this Monday, which we got like, I don't know when the video gonna be here, but you got to the date.
Yeah.
But I think it was like the 26th or 25th of this month. So that Monday, she said, "Yeah, I could close whenever you're ready." So I said, "Let's close on Thursday." She said, "No problem."
All right, boom. Okay, so yeah, 'cause that's when you hit me up yesterday. Today's Friday. Okay, so 28, 20. Yeah. All right. So the night before, you're gonna close or whatever. What was that like? And did you all have to actually go to closing on top of that? So the night before, let's go with the night before first.
Okay, so a couple of things with that. We were still so nervous, even though we knew we had a motivated seller. And listen, we had a motivated buyer because he was on top of things. Like, he was like, okay, what do I need to do? Is everything in place? He was ready. But even with that, it's our first deal. I was so nervous. I was like, I couldn't sleep. I was like, Alex, you sure you did everything right? Is everything in order? I was so nervous. So because of that, and because we were making a significant amount, I started getting nervous. Like, okay, well, what if one of them get upset when they see what we getting out of the deal? So we're like, we don't want them to connect. So we set up the closing where the seller went in where the buyer went in at 10:30, and then the seller came in at 11:30, and then we scheduled to just pick up at 2:30.
But wait, let me go back. So I watched like maybe 10 times what you said about the double closing versus the assignment. And in my mind, I kept thinking, you always saying, listen, if somebody knows what's in my pocket, then I don't want to deal with them. And I was like, and I was nervous because of the relationship that we have with the seller. Like, we don't know the seller directly, but her family and myself are connected like for years.
Correct.
So I didn't want it to be any type of issue. So we was like, should we double close? Should we do the assignment? But then I was like, you know what? Emailed the title company, said, can I have the buyer coming at this time and the seller coming at this time? And we coming at this time. And she said, no problem. So that's what we did.
All right, boom. Okay, so that morning, nobody's called you and told you, nah, this ain't gonna work or nothing. So.
Listen, I was sitting at work because I had to work. I had to go into work that day. Again, being an educator, so I had my students had finals exams that day. So I'm sitting there at 10:30, looking at my watch between 10:30 and 11. Like, I was like, nobody calling. So I'm like, all right, so the buyer's good. Then 11:30, I'm sitting there again, looking at my watch, like, nobody's calling. So I'm like, the seller's good. So I'm like, I guess we good then.
Okay.
She sent me the times where if we was doing the closing, what times like they would do the closing in between. So I set up them to come in the morning, and I told her we're being at 2:30 to pick up the check.
Okay, boom. Okay, so 2:30 arrives. I'm sure you all went together. You pick up the check. What's next?
I can tell you, we actually sat in the car for like 10 minutes. And we didn't want to be so anxious, so we got there like 2:40. We sat in the car. We got there at 2:40. So we walked in. And, again, we never met the lady. So when she came out the office, we introduced ourselves, and she just said, oh, everything was good. She picked up an envelope and said, your HUD is in there, and this is your assignment fee for $20,000. And I just like, that lady, what that lady just cursed at me? Like, what she just say to me? She ain't tell me that just now. She gave me, and she just handed us over a check for $20,000.
20 big ones. And that's I'm sure people have already seen this thumbnail whenever they're watching this, but I was just going to put on the screen that there's the happy couple. That's what it looks like. Hey, that's what it looks like with 20 big ones. So but yeah, guys, man, wow. That's an amazing journey on how you found the deal through bird dogging. So now you have a war chest to put back into your marketing, which you are already doing that. So what's next for Alex and Gwen as far as you already got other deals in the pipeline, don't you?
Yeah, we got
deals come from.
Well, remember the grandma crib was the original one we were supposed to get,
That's right. The probate situation. Yeah. Okay.
And then the other one was drive for dollars. While we was waiting for, so while we was showing the grandma crib, we ended up driving around the neighborhood and found another crib and reached out to them and got that through drive for dollars.
Boom. That's what's up. So that's really like zero. They made that 20 grand with $0, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, this is great. All right. So guys, I really appreciate you all sharing your time with us. Do you want to leave something for individuals that are, like, cause you all didn't go straight to it. It's really been several years of journey, because like you said, Gwen, you were introduced to it years ago in a sense or whatever, and then pick it up at that time. So if you want to try to, if you will, provide a little encouragement or motivation to individuals out there that may be struggling with this, and just your viewpoint, and maybe you can help some more people beyond what you've already helped them here with this interview.
So first I just have to say thank you to you. Thank you for just being such a humble person and just having this spirit just to be able to share and empower people and encourage people. And you do it just out of the kindness of your heart. And so many people out there doing it. But I tell people, listen, nobody's doing it like Flip Man. And I really do mean that. So I thank you, because honestly, I don't see it happening the way it did had we not been able to watch all of those videos, listen to you. I tell people, listen, he actually responds when you text him. Nobody's out there doing that right now. So before we even do anything else, we just got to thank you. We truly appreciate it. But in terms of people who are out there trying to do it, life will throw you curveballs and try to stop you. But when there's something that keeps coming up in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, you got to go for it. I don't care how many years it's been. I don't care how old you are, whether you 18 or you 78. If this is something that you want to pursue, go out there and pursue it. And when it gets challenging and it gets difficult, don't give up. My mom used to always say, anything that is worth having is worth working for. So you got to put in the work. But if you stay consistent and you put in the work, you will reap the benefits. It will happen.
I totally agree. What you got? Anything you want to add, Alex?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback. Really is just for the people, and this is more for the people that's watching, that's already on, like, trying to do their thing with it, and or they being hesitant. Just do it. Just do it. Just go out and do it. Just try it. For us, we're risk takers. So for us, this wasn't a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer for us. So I'm just saying, for the people that, like, don't be scared. You make a mistake. I got a friend, I'm telling him now, I'm like, once you get, like you said, it's not easy, but once you get a contract A and a contract B, depending on what your earnings deposit is, the worst you can do is lose your earnings deposit.
That's it.
But you have potential to make way more than that if you just go and do it. Like, don't let things stop you.
And you really put up that $100, but you get that back. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't realize that until she gave us a check. Get your $100 back. I said, "Oh, thank you. That works."
You didn't get $19,900. You got $20,000. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but man, guys, I'm really, really glad you guys reached out to me, and we're willing to share your story. I love to see that, even though once you got the deal, it was pretty much cut and dry. It was pretty simple, but to get there, it wasn't. And so, because that's a lot of people's journey doing this, and it came from a bird dog, an actual free method of generating leads. And I don't talk about that enough in reality. But you guys, once you told me that you all have run several businesses, it just was going to only be a matter of time with this or whatever. And so again, guys, I really, really appreciate you all sharing your story. I know it has helped me, and I'm sure it will help thousands of others that will watch this over the years. And as I always like to say, guys, we'll see you on the flip side.
All right. Thanks, Ty.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Flip man, flip man. It's the flip man. Flip man, flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.